Well, hello. Welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger. This is December 26, 2020. And I got my trusty chair here because I don't have a punching bag or target in this room. But the chair will actually illustrate really nicely what I'm about to show you guys today. Today I'm going to show you guys the bread and butter of how to develop your punch. No longer will you punch like just anybody. After this video and after practicing accordingly, hopefully you will cross that line from punching like a normal person, a regular Joe, into martial art, self-defense, fighter category. You will be on the way of developing amazingly strong punches without having to clock in hours and hours of doing push-ups. And this is how. It's almost cliche when people say when you punch, you want to punch through the target. Punch through the target. It's a lot of people, even people who don't know martial arts, will know how to say that. But how do you actually do it? What does it mean to punch through your target? First, let me demonstrate quickly. Using this chair, using the back of this chair, I hope you guys can see the chair's movement on the camera. This is what happens when you punch the chair like a normal, like a usually untrained regular Joe. No matter how big and strong, most regular Joes will punch like this. Okay? I mean, they usually punch at the face level. They don't punch that low. But I have to, because I have to hit the chair. But I think you guys get the idea. This is how people punch. Punch, 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 punch. Okay? And what happened to the chair when I do that? Well, other than bouncing all over the place, pretty much nothing. It doesn't fall over, it doesn't go that far. It basically just bounce a little bit when I hit it, when I hit it, when I hit it. Like that, right? So when you do that to a person, unless you're also fighting someone who's untrained, if you fight a trained person and you do that, all that does is annoy the person. It's still going to hurt, especially if you're big and strong, but it's very unlikely to do anything other than annoy the person. When we start training people how to push through, punch through the target, we teach them, we tell them, you got to add that push at the end of your punch. Well, that is easier said than done, because most of the time, people go from this normal way of punching, boom, 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 like that. They turn into this. What's happening there? They turn into pushing. No punching at all. You turn into a very slow extension and then push. Okay? That's no good. That's worse than just punching regularly. It's not going to hurt the person. It's going to waste a lot of energy. And it's going to get yourself injured when the person hit back. So when we say punch through the target, we don't mean push. We don't mean push. Okay? That might look great. That might feel good on the punching bag. Because when you do that, when you do this, it makes the punching bag swing really wide. That punching bag will swing like crazy when you do that. It looks really good from the side. It looks like you're hitting really hard. But believe me, when you do that to a person, it doesn't do anything. It will just annoy them again. Doesn't hurt them at all. So, what I'm talking about when I say punch through the person, it's more in line with same amount of energy. I didn't tense up, I didn't swing harder. I used a slightly different technique. I punched through the target. I knocked the chair over, just like that. No fanfare, nothing fancy, just boom. Over it goes. To some people, that starts to look like magic, but it's not. It's simple logic, physics of how to apply force. You see, when you simply make contact and pull back like regular punches, boom, boom, your fist, your body, and the object is taking equal amount of damage. The impact is sending out shockwave both ways. That is why all you are going to get when you hit and pull back is this little jump, and then you're going to get sore knuckles. Huh? And when you push, there's no impact. So all your force is going forward. But because there's no impact, there's no concussive force, it's not going to knock the chair over. It's not going to knock the person over. So we need that beautiful balance where there's concussive force and the feeding, the continual feeding of energy through the target. So most of the energy will go into the target rather than spreading back along your own arm. To first understand how to do this, you got to change the way you think about punching. Rather than thinking about, let's say this chair is a person. Rather than thinking about I'm going to hit this person in the face, I'm going to hit this person in the chest, I am thinking about reaching all the way through the body. I'm going to hit them on the spine from the front. So, in your head, you got to first imagine where you want your hand to be. If you are thinking, I'm going to punch him in the chest, and that is all you're going to get. If you are thinking you're going to reach all the way through him to hit someone behind him or to hit his spine from the front, then you are on your way to understanding that logic, that movement. It's the penetration movement, the penetration mindset. I'm not going to just hit him, I'm going to penetrate him. That sounds slightly erotic, but it's unintentional. Number two, understanding the body mechanic. Now there's a lot of different ways to punch through a target. I'm going to show you two. of my favorite, two of the ones that I use most common. One is, when we talked about this before, the spiraling screw-in motion right before or right upon contact. So rather than hitting the target with my fist straight on and staying that way, I'm going to turn my palm up to the sky, but just as I contact the target, I rotate my wrist. I rotate my fist like I'm turning a doorknob. Okay? That rotation will allow you to get a couple more inches deeper into your punch than normal and give you that bit of um, drilling, penetrating force into your target. The second way, my personal favorite, is right as I throw in my punch, I take a tiny shuffle step forward. So normally, let's say I'm way back here, the target is full arm length away, okay? That's a little bit hard for me to punch through because it's already at the full extent of my arm. But if when I throw this punch, I step forward, the moment I step forward, my range extends forward. So originally, it's fully arm's length away, hard for me to punch through it because it's already making me stretch. If I take that little shuffle step forward, suddenly I can reach way beyond the target. Suddenly I can reach way beyond the target. I can go through it. So, depending on your situation, depending on your spatial awareness, depending on how much space you're allowed, you either do it with a twist of your hand, or you can step into that punch to extend your forward momentum to all the way behind the target. One thing I'm going to caution you guys on is a lot of times I come across martial artists that learn to punch through the target, but they develop a really big weakness is that they overextend and they give people an unintentional opening before they retract their hand to block. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say I'm fighting someone, okay? Let's say I punch like a regular guy, like jab, block my face, jab, block my face, jab, block my face. Okay? The time when my hand is not blocking my face is very short between each punch because I'm jab block, jab block, jab block. Okay? I can usually be even faster than that, but because this thing is low, so I am having to drop my hand to hit it. Okay? Now, a lot of martial artists that learn the punching through the target. What they happen, what happening to them is their hit and block turn into something like hit, block, much slower. As you can see, they hit and block because they are extending, they're adding that extra push in their punch. They don't pull their arm back right away to block. Okay, so that is something to look for in your own training. Don't sacrifice too much of your blocking because you want to throw in that super hard punch. That super hard punch that punching through is not meant to be every punch. Until you are sure you are going to go for the knockout punch, until you are sure that this is going to be the last punch, you might want to just test the water and block, test the water and block, test the water and block. And when you are sure, boom, go in for that punching through the target. Otherwise, you're going to leave a lot of opening in your defense unless you are really, really good. Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday. For now, have a good night.